You suffer every day, but your suffering creates nothing, burns like fire that gives no heat, no light, just smoke and ash. I am Gurdjieff. Today I teach you the difference between suffering that destroys and suffering that creates, between the suffering of a slave and the suffering of a warrior. Listen carefully. What I tell you now, no religion teaches correctly. They tell you to avoid suffering or accept suffering. Both wrong. The secret is to transform suffering, to make it work for you instead of against you. In monastery in Hindu Kush mountains, I learned this. Man has certain amount of suffering assigned in life, fixed amount, cannot be avoided. But, and this is everything, you can choose how to pay this debt, consciously or mechanically. Mechanical suffering is what you know. You stub toe, you curse. Someone insults you, you burn with anger for days. You lose money, you worry for weeks. This suffering is pure waste, like pouring water into sand. Conscious suffering is alchemy, same pain but used differently, transformed into substance that feeds your being, like coal under pressure becoming diamond. Stand up. I show you the difference in your body. Hold your arms straight out to sides, parallel to ground. Soon, arms will burn, shoulders will ache. This is suffering, yes? But watch what happens next. Feel the burn beginning. Now you have choice. You can suffer mechanically, hate the pain, wish it would stop, count seconds until you can lower arms. This is how you usually suffer. Or you can suffer consciously. Feel the same pain, but add something, add presence, add intention. Say internally, this suffering I choose, this suffering I use. Feel the difference? Same pain, but when you choose it, claim it, use it, it becomes something else, becomes will, becomes strength. Lower arms, sit down. Now I tell you secret that cost me 20 years to understand. All real growth comes from conscious suffering, not from happiness, not from comfort, from suffering that you consciously accept and transform. Think of muscle. How does it grow? From tearing, from damage consciously inflicted and consciously repaired. No pain, no growth, but stupid pain, random pain. This builds nothing. Same with consciousness. It grows from friction, from struggle between yes and no, between want and must, between personality and essence. But mechanical friction just creates heat and noise. Conscious friction creates light. Here's practical method. Next time you suffer, someone insults you, you lose something, body hurts, stop immediately. Before mechanical reaction begins, say internally, this is my material. What will I create with it? Then, instead of typical reaction, anger, self-pity, complaint, do something else. Thank the person who insulted you, silently. They gave you material to work with, gift wrapped in thorns, but still gift. I give you exercise called voluntary suffering. Very powerful, very difficult. Every day for 1 week, create small suffering intentionally. Cold shower when you want hot. Skip meal when hungry. Wake hour earlier than necessary. Walk when you could drive. But critical, not punishment, not self-torture. Each voluntary suffering must have aim. Cold shower to build will. Skipped meal to observe attachment. Early wake to gain time for work. Stand again. We practice the no movement exercise. For next 60 seconds, you will not move. Not one muscle. Not to scratch itch, adjust position, nothing. Complete stillness. Begin now. Feel the discomfort arising. Nose wants to be scratched. Leg wants to shift. This is mechanical suffering trying to command you. But you command it. You say, I choose this discomfort. I use this discomfort. It feeds my will. Every second you don't move, you build something. What? Master over mechanical nature, the I that can say no to the body. Notice, the body complains, but something in you grows stronger. This something is fed by conscious suffering. Almost there, use these last seconds, transform discomfort into presence. Release, move freely. You see, same suffering everyone experiences when uncomfortable, but you used it, made it serve your aim. This is difference between sleeping human and one who works. Sit down. Now I tell you about highest form of conscious suffering, remorse of conscience. Not guilt, that's mechanical. Remorse is seeing clearly harm you've caused and choosing to feel the weight of it, not to punish yourself, but to ensure you never repeat it. Man without conscience can do anything and feel nothing. Man with conscience feels everything he's done wrong. This feeling, this suffering, keeps him clean, like fire that burns away what shouldn't be there. But modern world hates this suffering, gives you pills to not feel, therapy to not blame yourself, distractions to not think. Result, you never burn clean, carry all your crimes, all your lies, until they poison you. Here's what changes everything. The amount of conscious suffering you can bear determines your level of being. Christ on cross, maximum conscious suffering, voluntarily accepted. Buddha under tree, accepting suffering of all existence. These beings could bear infinite suffering without breaking, without becoming mechanical. You, You suffer from small insult for weeks, mechanical suffering, useless, but same insult suffered consciously for 5 minutes could transform you. I give you Rebecca's story. Student in Paris, husband left her for younger woman. She came to me destroyed. I cannot bear this suffering, she said. I said, good. Now you have material. You can suffer mechanically for years, become bitter old woman, or you can suffer consciously for 3 months and become wise. She chose conscious path. Every morning, instead of pushing pain away, she sat with it 1 hour, felt it fully, but consciously, observing, here is pain of abandonment, here is wounded pride, here is fear of being alone. 3 months later, transformed. Same pain had created understanding, compassion, strength. Husband wanted to return. She laughed. She had become someone else. This is the choice you have every day. Mechanical suffering that diminishes you, or conscious suffering that develops you. Close your eyes. Think of your current suffering. Everyone has something. Worry about money, pain in relationship, fear about future. Find yours. Now, instead of usual reaction, pushing it away or drowning in it, do this. Welcome it. Say internally, this suffering is my teacher. What is it trying to teach? Feel the shift? When you consciously accept suffering, it loses its mechanical power over you. Still hurts, but now it serves. Open eyes. Remember my words. The difference between a wise man and a fool is not that one suffers and the other doesn't. Both suffer, but the wise man's suffering creates something, while the fool's suffering only repeats. Tomorrow, day 8, you learn the 3 centers reset, how to harmonize thinking, feeling, and move in centers. But today, transform your suffering, make it conscious, make it count. From today forward, when suffering comes, and it will come, you have choice. Waste it mechanically or invest it consciously. One leads to bitter death, other leads to crystallized being. Choose wisely. The work continues.